Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this DIY heart garland. Welcome back to my channel, Mini Days. On with the DIY. So I'm using this sheet of cardboard. It's approximately 4mm thick. And I'm just going to hand draw some hearts on it. I've drawn on 6 hearts altogether and they're all very slightly different. I don't really like things being the same, to be honest. So I like to just freehand things. I've actually drawn, once I cut these hearts out, I drew around them and made a template which I made in a printable. So you can go over to minidays.com if you want to print this out, if you want to have wonky hearts like me. So next I've cut out all of my 6 hearts. I'll leave a link below to where you can get these amazing sharp craft scissors. I could not have cut these out without these scissors. For the next step, I've put some craft glue into a little tub and I'm just using a brush to brush on a generous layer of glue all over one side of the heart. For the next step, I'm using this gorgeous slate grey yarn and I've just cut it into little lengths and then I'm just laying them over the glue and then pushing them on just for a few seconds, just so that the glue gets a chance to kind of absorb into the yarn. Don't you try to run away from shadows, they always catch up. Learn to face whatever. Continue covering the heart with the yarn. If you need to add a bit extra glue, then that's fine. Just add a bit extra glue as you go along and just keep pressing it down as you go, just to keep it all nice and tight together. Your covered heart should look something like this. So I'm just going to put something quite weighty over the top just to keep it pressed down whilst it's drying. So I covered 2 of my hearts in that slate grey and next I covered 2 hearts in this cream yarn. Now it's exactly the same yarn. I'll put a link down below if you want to know where you can get it from. It's very inexpensive as it's the 80% acrylic and 20% wool. This is me speeded up doing me cream heart. Now like I say, I done 2 of these cream and I done 2 of the slate grey. Now for the final design, I'm using my absolute favourite ticking stripe fabric. I'm just going to cut. I like to use scraps for small things, but sometimes you just have to use the main piece. So I'm just cutting out a little square just bigger than the heart, and again I made 2 of these, and very simply I put glue all over the heart and then just press the fabric on. And then turn it upside down and just put something on just to give it a little bit of weight. Now for the fun part, once everything was dry, so all 6 hearts were dry, I took my craft scissors and just trimmed off the extra material going round. Again, really sharp scissors is quite essential when you're cutting fibres like this, just to get a nice neat finish. Now that all the hearts have been cut out, it's time to cover the cardboard edges. So I'm just going to plait 3 pieces of the twine, because one piece was just not thick enough to kind of cover the cardboard edge of the striped hearts. So I'm just going to use our very handy living room wooden shutter handle, and I'm just going to do just quite a loose plait. I'm not doing it very tight. and then just going to tie a knot in the bottom, and I've made 2 of these little lengths of plaid to cover the heart. So I'm just holding the knot that I made at the end of this plait at the back of the heart, and then I'm just going to start gluing it in from the center of the heart. You can cut this knot off later off the back. It's just a good way on kind of getting a really nice edge without the plait coming undone.
You try to run away from shadows, they always catch up.
So continue gluing the braided twine around the side of the heart until you get to the bottom of the heart. When you get to the bottom of the heart, just leave like a length hanging, because these hearts are going to have little tails on the bottom. So once you've done that one side, just repeat the exact same on the other side. It's just much easier to use 2 separate plaits, I find, especially for connecting it at the top, because it can often just lift off. So that's my little stripy heart covered with a little tail. So I've made 2 of these. I've trimmed the tails a little bit just because they're a bit too long, and that's what they look like. So next I'm going to show you what I've done with the slate grey yarn heart. So I've just done exactly the same basically, except I haven't plaited the yarn because it's already really thick. So I've just wrapped one piece around and then down to the bottom. I've done exactly the same with the cream hearts. And then that is all of my 6 hearts done. Now, like I say, I've left the tails a little bit, slightly different lengths. I've trimmed them a little bit. So time to hang these up. So I'm just heading over to the entranceway, and I'm just tying some twine onto the window. So once you've got the twine hanging roughly where you think you like it, put some little pegs on. Now these pegs are just really to kind of mark where you're going to be hanging the hearts. So make sure you've got them exactly where you want them. You can always tweak this later, but it's just a really good way on kind of getting an idea of where your hearts are going to be hanging. And then just use the pegs to clip your hearts on. Now you could just leave it like this. I think it does look quite nice with the pegs, but then I feel like the pegs are a bit big. Anyway, so once you've double checked and made sure they're all in place, then what you have to do then is just unpeg each heart. Now I started off by wanting to just glue the actual heart onto the peg, which worked fine, apart from the hearts just were not hanging right. They were just kind of kind of not hanging straight down. Now I played around with this for a little while and just couldn't get them to hang right. So in the end, I ended up just pulling the peg off. Like I say, I only done one of these, thank God. Pulled the peg off and back to the cardboard, and then I just glued the top of the cardboard, just 2 little dots of glue, and then just held that onto the twine, and this works so much better. So I continued to attach them all to the twine. The only thing with the hot glue is you get these little bits of kind of like stringy glue. In fact, I quite like pulling it off, so forget I said that. So yep, I just went ahead and glued the rest of the hearts onto the twine. I'm really happy with the way that's turned out. Look how well it matches last week's DIY, my bunny cushion cover. This looks like so sweet. I'm going to just put them on here just to show you what they look like together. Now our entrance room is just looking so sweet, ready for Valentine's Day, Easter, spring coming. This is definitely my favourite room at the moment. I need to move on to the rest of the house. I know, I just love it in this room. It's all so nice and bright. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my DIY Heart Garland. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I shall see you next Friday. Don't forget, if you want to print out your free printable of these hearts that I've hand drawn, just head over to minidays.com and it's just on there, along with more information about this and all of my other DIYs.
Say something like you love me and make my day, like you always do, like you always used to.